Hello, friends. I hope you all are safe, happy, and healthy as well. In this video lecture, we will study a poem, I Am the People, the Mob, written by Carl Sandburg. First, we will have at a glance of information about the writer of this poem. Carl August Sandburg was well-known American poet, writer, and editor. He won 3 Pulitzer Prizes, 2 for his poetry and 1 for his biography of Abraham Lincoln. The most famous among all the volumes of his collected verses are Chicago Poems, published in 1916. Sandburg was born in three-room cottage on 6th January 1878 in Galesburg, Illinois. He adopted the nickname Charles or Charlie in elementary school. It was also around the same time that he and his two oldest siblings changed the spelling of their last name to Sandburg. Sandburg began his writing career as a journalist for the Chicago Daily News. Later, he went on to write poetry, history, biographies, novels, children's literature, and film reviews. He also collected the edited books of ballads and folklore. Sandburg died of natural cause on 22nd July 1967. Friends, let me explain the outline of this poem. I Am the People, the Mob by Charles Sandburg, which was published in 1916 as a part of his collection of poetry entitled Chicago Poems. This poem provides almost certain folk knowledge of poets' later support for the civil rights movements, as it speaks of his belief in the power of the common masses. This poem is set in an abstract landscape that can be equated with the America of early 20th century. In this landscape, the common people are learned to regain control from the hands of their corrupt governors. Friends, let me allow to start the summary of I Am the People, the Mob, line by line. As I told you, the poem consists of 15 long lines in total. These lines are not divided into stanzas. However, they are divided into meaningful segments here in order to make the poem easier to follow and understand. First 3 lines: I am the people, the mob, the crowd, the mass. Do you know that all the great work of world is done through me? I am a working man, the inventor, the maker of the world's food and clothes. In this stanza, the poet declares that he is speaking on behalf of common people as their representative. Then he asks his readers whether they know that it is because of common people that all the work in the world is done, because it is common people who are responsible for inventing new things and engaging in hard labor to produce man's clothes as well as their food. Line 4 and 5. I am the audience that witnesses history. The Napoleons come from me and the Lincolns. They die, and then I send forth more Napoleons and Lincolns. In these lines, the poet says that he, as a common people, has watched every single event in the past unfolding before his eyes. It is from among the common people that great heroes like Napoleon Bonaparte and Abraham Lincoln have arisen, and those other extraordinary men like them will arise again. Lines 6 to 10. I am the seed ground. I am prairie that will stand for much plowing. Terrible storms pass over me. I forget. The best of me is sucked out and wasted. I forget. Everything but death comes to me and makes me work and give up that I have. And I forget. Sometimes I growl, shake myself, and spatter a few red drops for history to remember. Then I forget. In this stanza, the poet, in the voice of the masses, says that he is like a large open field that can easily bear to burden of being plowed by heavy implements, of having destructive storm blow by it, and of having its very vitality sucked out of it. Every hardship sort of death is faced by common people, and they lose everything they have achieved. Despite all this, they do not hold on to the past and are willing to move beyond it to a new day. The masses do cry out in the protest at times, and sometimes they fight and shed their blood, but in the end, every defeat is forgotten. Lines 11 to 15. When I, the people, learn to remember, when I, the people, use the lesson of study and no longer forget who robbed me last year, who played me for a fool, then there will be no speaker in all the world say the name, the people. With any fleck of a sneer in his voice, or any far off smile or derision. The mob, the crowd, the mass will arrive then. In this stanza, the poet qualifies what he had said about forgetting in the previous stanzas. He says that the masses forget everything except the lessons they have learned from the mistakes of the past. They make it point to isolate the powerful men who have robbed them and tricked them, not to make sure that these men can never take advantage of them again. As a result, no one can mock the masses of look down upon them. The masses will take power into their own hands. So, my dear friends, it is very simple poem to understand. Thank you very much for